Now, this is a major one because we're now going to look into their inner conflicts about you, about this situationship. And the reason why I say situationship, because this reading very much applies to people who are sitting in limbo, people who are waiting, people who are wanting answers to maybe move it into a relationship, but just sitting in that confusion of not really knowing why things are the way that they are. So we're now going to look into what's going on for them and why this is the way it is in terms of limbo, in terms of being on hold. So let me get the cards, give it a little bit of a shuffle, and let's dive in. I'm always excited regarding this, and remember, if you want a more tailored, in-depth reading, then just go across to my bio and all the links are there, and you can book a reading regarding love, wanting to know more about this and basically what's going on. Definitely, oh my God, I can't believe I did that instinctively, but I saw the card says prickly spiritual. No, not prickly spiritual. The card said prickly situation, and that's basically what's going on internally for them. And the situation isn't necessarily to do with you or anything to do, regarding you and them. It's more to do with them internally, where you have been doing your inner work and continue to do your inner work. And as a coach, I applaud that. Keep on doing that. But as you keep on doing that, and maybe have been doing it for quite a number of years and stuff, the trauma that's within them is something that I'm not going to lie and say that they've never been doing the inner work, but I think they're at a state or stage where what's going on currently for them is very much out of their comfort zone. And as I say those words, a little bit of it applies to you and the situation and this connection, but a lot of it applies to their own life, work, family, finances, friends, just put whatever you want to put it into the basket, but it's basically what's going on for them.